Growing up in a Chicago suburb, I loved playing sports and performing in musicals, yet I knew there was something more in the world. I left all of my possessions and moved to Kenya to live with a Masai family in a home made out of mud, cow dung, and sticks. Every day I would carry firewood on my back, balancing with the water and showering in a bucket. But before I went to Kenya, I thought I understood global issues. Because like you, we watched those documentaries, and we've all heard the statistics before. Yet, living it was a whole new world. My little Masai brothers and the family I lived with used to climb to the top of these tall acacia trees. And I would just stand back thinking, what are we going to do if one of them were to fall and shatter his leg bone? The nearest medical clinic was a 4-hour walk away. Or even something like drought, because drought makes perfect theoretical sense. Rains don't fall, so crops don't grow. There's no food to be bought or sold in the markets, and therefore no food at home. But it would mean so much more than that to my community, where the spring, our water source, would literally dry up during the day. And in the middle of the night, my Masai mama would come, wake me up, and we'd have to walk through the savanna grass, hearing the hyenas in the distance, to find our water. The next morning, as Mama and I would be cooking our breakfast of tea, we'd debate between ourselves. This week, should we use the water to wash the family's clothes? Or let everyone take a 3-cup bucket bath? Or do we not get to wash anything because you need some water to boil the food in so we can continue eating? But all of a sudden, drought was affecting our sanitation and our nutrition and our safety. And we learned in order to effectively approach one social issue, you need to holistically approach many. And I'm so proud to now be the Kenya Program Director with Free the Children, implementing our Adopt a Village model on the ground with our incredible team that we have there. In Kenya, the government isn't able to build schools as quickly as the children want to start attending school, so the construction responsibility falls upon the parents. And the moms and dads build the schools the same way they build their homes, out of mud and cow dung and sticks. So the weather outside the classroom, therefore, becomes the weather inside the classroom. And you either have a floor in a mud puddle so deep that the teachers have to hike up their pants to go desk by desk marking the students' papers, or you have a dust storm so thick that the students can't see the front of the board. Free the Children honors the elders' vision of education by building new schools where hundreds of kids come and sit on the edges of their seats, so excited to get an education. Yet when you take a closer look inside these schools, you notice that they're mostly filled with boys. So we asked the elders, why? Where are the girls? Do they not want their daughters to get an education? The elders said they would love for their girls to get an education. Yet, reality is, when a girl wakes up in the morning, she has to go fulfill her domestic responsibilities of fetching water. Water that looks more like the color of chocolate milk than anything you or I would want to drink. So, we came up with the perfect solution with the community. Put a clean water system next to the school, that way girls can get an education and get water that's clean. Immediately, enrollment rates tripled. With these tripled enrollment rates, we started taking a closer look at the quality of education in the classroom through the attendance rates. Kids would come to school 2 days a week, 3 days if they were really committed, usually due to one of 4 reasons: cholera, typhoid, tuberculosis, or malaria. But this solution was pretty straightforward as well. Take out the seats in the back of Land Cruisers so you can put shelving units in filled with medication to drive to a pre-announced community to give them the treatment that they need, but also the education by having school health clubs and women groups to be able to determine what the signs and symptoms of different diseases are so the women can prevent the bad diseases. Attendance rates therefore went up to 80 and 90%. We then learned the final component to make the Adopt a Village model sustainable: alternative income programming. Working with men and women so that they can earn the income they need to sustain the model, so when Free the Children steps back from the communities, they can sustain it for true empowerment. Whether through beekeeping cooperatives, agricultural groups, or our latest initiative that we are so excited to share with you today, Me-to-We Artisans, where mamas can maintain their cultural beating, but with a North American fashion twist that you can support even here today in the concourse. One day, we're opening up a new school. We invited the whole community, men and women, elders, government representatives, and a whole sea of 604 students. Everyone got up and walked over to one of the doorways of the classrooms that had this huge ribbon stretched out across, cut the ribbon, and everyone ran inside the classroom, circling until it was so jam-packed with kids pulling their moms behind them, government officials running inside of the chiefs, until it was so jam-packed you couldn't move anymore. One of the small Kenyan children, to practice their English, started reading aloud the sign of the community-decided school motto, reading, "Together we can achieve our goals." And voice upon voice upon voice was saying this until it became a chant in unison that the whole community was reciting together. And I stood there in that room thinking, yes. Yes, with the children so dedicated that they run over rocks for kilometers. Yes, with the women taking on extra chores so their daughters can go to school. Yes, with the elders running their businesses. Yes, with all of you. With all of you believing in them, I realize it's not charity. It is sustainability. It is Adopt a Village.